Maybe let's... Well, the aim of the game is for you to type it. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Cargo. Maybe a short session today, but we're just going to jump right in. So our crew of ex-military misfits have found their way onto a derelict ship to do a bit of a scavenge and recover. Upon entering, they have found that not only is the ship seemingly not been inhabited for a very, very long time, but it doesn't even look like the ship was unpacked. After a bit of exploration, they have found a strange substance that sort of resembles rust, but it kind of bubbles and eats away at anything that's metallic in any shape or form. You found that the engine room is on emergency power and it's been shut off because it's contaminated. But the front of the ship, and including the captain's quarters and the bridge, have been sealed off as well due to a large rupture in the front of the ship, which has caused an air issue. There seems to be something aboard that you guys have kind of noted signs of things moving about, including a flashlight that was previously dropped and then went missing. Upon going to investigate the bridge, Maria was sent in to go and see how bad the hole is and to see whether or not it could be patched. But upon opening the emergency duct to the room, came face to face with a taller humanoid form, again sort of with this rust material kind of covering shoulders and face. And before anything else could happen, it kind of grabbed Maria by the head and the legs, pulled it through, and then the door was shut behind it.
Uh-oh.
And that is where we will pick up.
Uh-oh. So Maria's just been yanked away.
Maria has just been yanked away.
Did any of us witness this? Because I remember we were kind of around the corner and trying to hold on to things.
Yeah, because obviously on opening it, you were worried that the gravity and things like that were going to shift, or the air was going to start pulling you out.
So did we just witness that? Or
I would say
not?
you probably heard it rather than saw it.
Okay.
So do we have like communications on our person?
Not if you didn't bring them with you, which I don't believe any of you did, because you took off the suit before you came over.
We should probably go in, right?
I'll like bang on the door. Maria, is everything okay?
Maria, so currently, again, there's a hand on your head and a hand sort of around your ankles kind of situation. And this creature is starting to sort of like haul you down this tight sort of ventilation area. And you notice that on one of the hands, the one that's around your leg, you can see that this rust is starting to spread and kind of latch on to your outer plating.
I will try and wriggle out of its grasp.
Yeah, you can give that a go. I would like, what is it? It's a bash action for strength skills. To give it a bash.
Oh!
Maria, as you attempt to sort of start wriggling your way through, the creature in question kind of releases your head, wraps his other hand around your other ankle and swings you into the side of the vent. And the rest of you, all you hear is this loud crashing thud as basically Maria is smashed against the inside walls of this ventilation duct.
Yeah, that doesn't sound healthy. Maybe we should go in.
Let's go check it out, I guess. Unless, Captain, you have any other orders, I guess?
Sounds like she's in trouble. Get in there.
Sick. I forgot the voice.
Could I request no voice for today? Because that's very loud on my phones and I have no way of balancing.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Loud.
Yeah, it's very loud.
A lot
Uh,
louder than
it's-
your normal voice. But
Is it?
Yeah.
it is actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, weirdly.
I can lower the volume to do.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, that's a bit better. Alright.
Okay.
I'm gonna ready my sniper rifle for whatever is through there, I guess.
Yeah, let's wrench open the vent door.
Alright, give me a bash action.
I just tried to open this character sheet. Alright, it's gonna be a D. I'm down to a D6.
Yeah, we didn't take a breath.
No, but a 4's good.
Okay, so you start trying to, like, wrench this door open. It'd been opened by Maria previously, so a lot of, like, any build-up that would have prevented you from opening it has kind of loosened. And this thing had both hands occupied, so it wouldn't have shut completely. So you managed to haul it open. And what you see at the end of the corridor is like this really tall, I think as Yaz put it, slender man sort of shape. And it's really dark in here as well, but all you can see is like the lights from Maria's lenses. And this thing has got her by the ankles. And kind of, Maria is dangling upside down almost, and it's sort of sagging
Is it
under holding
carrying-
the weight.
Is it towering above her?
Mm-hmm.
Like in. Okay. In
Because
that case,
Maria's
I'm
only
just gonna
what, 3 foot something? Is that right, Yaz? She's quite small, isn't she?
She's a teeny tiny robot. I
Yeah.
believe.
This thing is,
It's about 3 foot tall.
yeah.
Kind of halfling kind of height.
And the thing that's holding Maria is taller than any of you.
As soon as I wrench open the door, I'll move back out of the way and tell. I'll turn to Wyrick.
Can't get shot, Wyrick.
I can certainly try. Which is a D8. I'm just gonna aim and fire, I guess. And hope.
Okay.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so you fire at this thing. Just gonna note down that it's been hit. And basically, as it sort of hits this thing, because you've rolled an 8, I'll let you decide where you shot it.
So it's towering over. Does it still have any grip on Maria at all?
Yeah, it's got Maria by the ankles.
In which case, I'm shooting for like what's holding on to Maria. Like, basically, I'm going. Let go of our medical unit. It has important information stored upon it, and I don't want you to damage it.
As you kind of shoot its hands, wrists, whatever they are, it does release its grip on Maria, and it kind of almost takes like a kind of like rearing step back, and it kind of looks almost like Cobra-esque the way it kind of holds its arms up and out, almost like a hooded cobra kind of letting out the hood sort of thing ready. But instead of charging forwards towards you, it goes around the corner to the right, and you just hear this thundering, almost like as if it's running on like all 4 limbs, basically.
I'll push round the corner with my shotgun out at the ready. I don't actually think I can.
Yeah,
You're a little bit quiet.
Yeah.
I knew buying the telescope with the gun attachment was the right idea.
Yeah. I crouch my way through, baton in front, so that the Kingsley can like be above with the shotgun,
Okay.
and I drag Maria back.
So you drag Maria back towards the rest of you?
Yeah.
Just breathe. I think as nice as it's been, maybe we don't use Maria as bait right now, considering her
I'm just gonna
condition.
to poke my head round the corner, where I went round to the right. I can't move again. But yeah, just him. Do I
Uh,
see anything as I go round?
so you don't see the creature. It's really, really dark down this tunnel. There's not even any emergency lights on down here. Whereas everywhere else, there's been like those red sort of emergency lights. This area seems to be completely dark. What you can see though is along the sides where the metal plating for this vent is, there's a lot of wires. So this is where all the ship's wiring would have been done and any like cables would have been put. You can see something moving
Okay.
deep within it along the surface, almost like the shadows in there are kind of writhing and moving around.
Just before I retreat, I'll just dump a couple of rounds into it.
Okay. Sure. If you'd like to shoot.
In a tight, confined space with a shotgun. I'm waiting to see a one now.
It's not exactly gonna dodge it, is it?
No.
Or
Okay.
we'll see.
It looks like you're good.
You kind of shoot into the sort of the wiring where you can see the sort of movement underneath it. And you expect it to sort of either go through or for something to happen. But all that happens is that it's almost like hitting a protective shield. It kind of hits the metal and it just stops in the metal.
Oh, okay.
Like it's gone straight through whatever was there.
It's just a warning shot anyway, so I'll back out, just watching behind us.
Alright.
What was that thing?
Seems like maybe it was one of the past crew.
Possibly,
Well-
possibly that's the final state if the rust coats you entirely, perhaps. Speaking of that, actually, I shot off part of its arms, and Maria had some of it on it. Is there any like samples that we could collect, just for further study later, if I have a chance?
I mean, Maria is coated in the rust, her sort of lower legs and ankles where the creature was holding on.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Hey, Maria, are you waterproof?
Good question.
That does not compute.
Does water get into your circuits?
Well, she's a
Sorry,
medical
I didn't
droid.
understand that.
All right, well, let's find out. I'm going to throw Maria in the shower. Patch yourself up.
That would, from my beforehand, would my knowledge be? In fact, no. At least water resistant because medical droid.
It's probably
Yeah,
used
so-
to being covered in blood and stuff.
So, because Maria is indeed a medical droid, also equipped with defibrillators, it wouldn't be logical for it not to be waterproof.
I didn't know that for certain, but I still threw her in the shower. Patch yourself up, and by that I mean maybe you should use a medical kit.
Yeah, but
Change the character.
yeah, Kingsley, you would know that Maria is indeed waterproof because she would need to be sterilized before any operations. Obviously, if defibrillators were necessary, you'd need to protect the electrical equipment within.
Mhm.
The list goes on.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it.
What was that? Sorry, you cut out a little bit there.
I'm gonna use my medkit if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what it does, but it might heal me.
Hold on a second. Let me just find where it tells me about the med kits.
Somebody also be able to change my shoot from a D6 to a D4.
Your shoot. Show.
I think your work is using an item.
Wait, didn't you use a shotgun?
He rolled a d6, not a d8, so I'm guessing that was just a standard shoot with like the
Oh,
sides.
you just.
Okay.
I think if you
Alright,
use an
then.
item, your item goes down.
So you didn't use your
Okay.
item technically.
Or does it go down with shoot? I don't know.
No, it shouldn't be.
No, the use if you're just shooting, it doesn't use the item because you're literally shooting.
He didn't
Yeah,
use
I
his
should've
special
rolled it.
shells.
Yeah, I should have rolled it. But
That's fine.
Just- We can just put it that
Um,
way. He didn't use his special shells. He just used the regular shells.
So, Maria, using a med kit clears 2 stress.
Yeah, that's better than what I currently.
So, you get cleaned off. The rust has kind of corroded some of your outer plating at this point, but thankfully it's not quite got into your circuits. Your med kit sort of consists of sort of, the plastic that goes around all the wiring and stuff like that. It's like the duct tape or whatever you call it that you use on that when it starts
Gaffer
to.
tape.
That's the
Woohoo!
stuff,
Really?
gaffer tape.
Be like silicone coating and
So you spend a little while patching up all these wires, taping down any loose plating and just
Brings
whatever
out-
seems logical to make sure you're stable.
Brings out a car battery and some jacking
Jumper
cables.
wires.
You're not perfect.
Nobody
It's
is.
a little bit difficult to walk now that the plating around your ankles is kind of loose.
Yeah.
And you do make a slight plonking noise now, rather than being quiet.
I'm clunky. I can't be
And-
stealthy anymore.
And the bash to the head, you've got a bit of a dent. And one of your eye lights sort of blinks every now and then. So you've developed a bit of a twitch.
Glitch and a
Well, more-
twitch.
more of a twitch.
Adding insult to injury. But
And that's perfect. Captain, I'm not sure she's going to be the same again. That was like a real knock to the head.
Once we get paid for this job, we can replace our boats.
I think at least, even if to some extent they are just a piece of equipment from the ship, they've at least done well enough for us to pay out for some repairs.
Yeah.
Perhaps
But-
we could get an upgrade, like, an actual person.
Or perhaps,
Guys, rude.
well,
So-
we could perhaps get an upgrade, like reinforce the metal plating, increase the CPU, perhaps,
Maybe we can do. Maybe we can just do what you guys have done, except in reverse. We just add human parts.
It's at this
Right.
point that you all kind of there's several loud clunks coming from the area above you in the ceiling or the top of the ship. And it seems to move very, very quickly. And it heads back towards where the engine area is. and then the entire ship jolts to one side. And I would like, what is it? What's the one for? I think it's a dash.
Ah, yes. Dash check. How
A
fantastic.
dash check.
Was it like the gravity has suddenly like screwed up again?
Three's
No,
not
the
terrible.
entire ship just jolts like something's hit it or moved.
Ah!
Wow,
Not great rolls
did I
all
somehow do the best on that?
And I had a D6.
Okay, so all of you sort of fall to one side. Captain, you go all the way down this ventilation shaft.
Oh, right. Down
Yeah.
this way.
Because you're so close to it that the jolt has sent you off your feet and down this corridor. The rest of you have kind of gone flying into the walls or each other.
Great.
Maria, I think you've currently got the best protection. You've just sort of padded yourself out, and you know you've got all the toilet stalls to kind of cushion your blow.
Land in the bowl.
I'm just like literally chilling in a bowl, a toilet bowl.
It's a good job we established that you're waterproof.
Yeah.
What does Bubbles have for dash? Would it be a D10?
Bubbles. Oh, what, the cat? I'm gonna say it's gonna take the same roll that you do, just
The cat's
because we
dead.
don't have a sheet
murdered
for this cat.
So indeed, catch me, Bubbles.
You landed on Bubbles.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm still quite happy I got a 3 on a D4 roll, I'm not gonna lie.
It's not bad going.
So did Maria.
So
Yeah.
you're all knocked off your feet. Some of you are in piles together. You've watched your captain literally get hauled all the way down this corridor.
I'm gonna try and scramble back up.
Yeah, I'm
And-
gonna try to get up and have my, or at least get into a position where I can shoot at anything that might come after the captain whilst he's in a vulnerable state.
So, Captain, as you were kind of like trying to get back up to your feet, you kind of grab the walls to get yourself back up. You look up, and within sort of like the darkness in front of you, you just see 2 red dots staring back at you, and they've got that reflectiveness like a cat at night. But they are huge, and they're just staring at you, not blinking.
I am going to scramble away, try to get down this tunnel.
Okay.
Back to my party.
Sure. As you start to scramble your way, you see these really long arms, much like the creature before. It's shorter in stature, but it's got these monstrously long arms, and it claws itself forward by like the front arms, almost like an orangutan, and it's like hauling itself forward faster and faster, trying to catch up with you. And I would like a dash check from you, please, to see if you can outrun this thing.
Can I take a pot shot at it to help him escape?
Yeah, you can give it a go.
Okay, what am I allowed?
Is our dash? I mean, mine's down to a D4 at this point, but 4, thank God.
Okay, let's see what the shot is from Wyrick.
Oh, it's only a 2.
Okay. As you start to try and dash away towards the door, where it kind of fires off a shot, it misses this creature. This creature is low to the ground. It's behind you. If Wyrick takes this shot too close, he's going to get you right in the skull. And this thing grabs you by the ankles, and it hauls you back almost like it's getting ready to kind of like throw a whip. And
How'd
it
your
literally...
fire work?
What was that?
Hold fire follows.
Understood.
I'm down this tunnel, for God's sake.
Yeah, so it grabs you see it grab the captain, and it does the same thing that happened to Maria earlier, and it swings him over and slams him into the ground.
Oh,
I'm
and then
going-
starts to crawl its way backwards back down this tunnel.
Is 4 not a success then?
No.
Or my 2 screwed it over.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a full charge forward, step on the captain's back, and just try and stun this thing with my baton.
You can give it a shot.
That is my plan. Even though it's a D6. Come on. Save the captain.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, where are you aiming for on this creature? It's literally shaped almost like an orangutan, but with extremely exaggerated arms, and it's got your captain by the legs, and the other one is kind of clawing its way to drag itself along.
I'm guessing one foot on the captain's back, a stamp on the other, on one of its arms, and then stun it with the baton in the other arm
Cool.
to try and get it to let go.
Okay, so yeah, you stab it with the baton, and the sort of the charge goes off, and you can see its hand start to sort of spasm, and it does loosen its grip, and it kind of slumps and hurls itself down to one side. As it does so, it's almost not solid. It kind of ripples and has like a sort of jelly effect, and then it solidifies again as it sort of settles, and then it starts to try and regain its footing. It kind of reaches up, and this one long arm elongates, and it grabs the top of the ceiling, and it starts to haul itself up.
So it's retreating.
No, it's just picking itself up.
Oh, okay, well, I'm going to try and get out of here again whilst it's climbing up
Yep.
and I'm freed.
Yeah, I'll,
Sure.
I'll scramble off his back to let him get back.
Okie dokie.
And I'll just, like, baton in front of me.
Okay. This creature is getting to its feet. It's got one arm on the ceiling, and it's using its other one to sort of drag itself back up. And it's almost like it's not quite solid. And this mass starts to turn, and it slams the other arm in front of itself, and then the other, and it starts to make its way quickly towards the door, towards the corridor where you lot are.
Slam the door shut.
Sure, let's see if you can slam the door shut. Give me a bash.
Bash! Oh, come on!
This thing manages to get a hand through the door, almost like, when you block it with your foot, except it's using its entire arm. And the door starts to shut, but it's like a pillow kind of jammed in the door frame. It doesn't quite shut, but nothing solid is kind of keeping it there, really. It's squashy. And this hand reaches around and starts to try and claw for you.
Oh. What did we say about our items? Like, when they get to D4, is it we get one last charge on them?
You get one last charge, and then it breaks.
I'm going to use my last charge on it then to try and...
Yep.
And then... Free,
Okay.
there you go.
So similar thing happens to what happened before. You sort of jam the stunner into it, this flailing hand, this flailing arm, and for a second it kind of wraps its hand around it and squeezes it. And as it does so, it kind of short circuits, and you can see all these sparks flying, and the hand kind of goes into sort of another sort of spasm, and then it kind of, you hear this horrible screeching sound, very similar to one that you heard earlier, and then it releases it, and this entire stunner kind of falls to the floor in pieces, and the hand almost melts away, leaving behind this rust stain all over the wall, and the door slams shut.
So it destroyed my baton.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I guess I'm not charging that back up.
We should
Is
probably
everyone okay?
retreat to a point of at least relative safety whilst we work out what to do next. If there's an enemy there, we've heard something go towards the engine room as well, so perhaps retreat to the med bay, even if it's unpacked.
The door may be shut, but I'm not confident it's going to just stop it Can I bring out my phase plasma welder and weld the door sealed shut?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Was
It
that a
might
dead
take
end?
some time, but you can definitely do that.
Yeah, was that a dead end?
No, it was the
That
way to
was
get into the bridge.
Oh, was
Yeah.
it? Oh shit.
Well, not necessarily. If we find a way to override the actual door, we could, but it would be straight into a vacuum of space. So
Hmm.
We'd need like breathe. Well, we have breathing equipment, don't we?
It wouldn't
yes,
just, but it would need to be a full suit. Otherwise, the pressure and the cold would kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, we got masks. We just don't have.
we don't have a full sealed suit. So
Yeah.
the bridge is kind of a no-go, and I'm just going to try and seal it inside here. Um,
Everyone watch my back. I'm just starting to try and seal this creature inside.
Understood.
Just. Yeah. Well.
got a 5.
Yeah,
On my weld.
you don't go too quickly because you want to make sure that you do this properly. So
Mhm.
in exchange for the time it takes you to do this, you do a fairly solid job. You feel confident that nothing's getting through this door anytime soon.
All right, that's as sealed as it's going to be.
Do we happen to know where the armory might be on this ship if it has one? If everything else has been unpacked, there might be some still packed. There might be some equipment that might be useful.
The armory is basically kept with the rest of the cargo.
Okay.
Which is towards the area where you parked your ship, because obviously that's where cargo would have been unloaded and brought through.
Might be able.
First things first, Mr. Wyrick, the word, please.
Yes.
Under what gave you the idea to shoot me?
I wasn't trying to shoot you. I was trying to shoot it to give yourself a better chance of escape.
I gave no order to fire.
Understood.
With the creature on my back, he could have shot me straight through the head.
It was a calculated risk that unfortunately misfired, but I will keep that in mind for the future, Captain.
I'd be drawn for a court martial in the military.
Yes, well, as you know, the shooting side of the military job was never my forte. I was always more of a, well, the research type, R&D. But yeah, I will keep.
When the creature had Maria, it was different circumstances. She is but a droid we could replace. But don't risk human lives.
Understood.
Now.
Hey, if you don't trust him with the gun, I'm good with a gun. Wow, that went silent.
Do you not have any other weapons, Alistar?
What? No, you gave me a stun baton. I did say I was better with a gun, but it did save your life.
You can take mine. Here.
You don't need your shotgun?
No.
Like I said, if we check out the cargo, we might be able to find some additional equipment anyway to give us an edge, perhaps.
The weapons are merely slowing it down. What we need to do is purge this contamination. We need to get to the reactor.
But I don't think based on the reaction of everything so far, I'm not sure we have any form of equipment that's going to be suitable for clearing this. Unless we perhaps set the reactor on a self-destruct and escape ourselves. Perhaps.
That's exactly the plan, Mr. Wyrick. this salvage mission is a write-off. There's clearly no condition to be able to salvage this, not without contamination.
Right. Okay.
Now, as for clearing the contamination, you haven't checked along here.
If we can't find survivors, maybe we can find a way to self-destruct the ship once we've found a way to get back to ours.
Well, getting back to ours will just be a matter of getting the door open, in theory, which will prove tricky.
Well, it wasn't so much the door open, it was more the electrified tunnel.
But that's true. Should be some way to deal with that.
Maybe if we can find suits, we can, as risky as it is, jump across.
So you guys come down this corridor and wander into what looks like a common area. There's a chessboard set up in the corner. There's several comfortable looking chairs that have kind of been upturned or on their sides. There's a couple of blankets in the corner as well. There's like a fridge, microwave, all that sort of thing are in here. It's almost like a little break room.
Looks like the perfect place for a breather.
Certainly, and
It's also opposite the vent, which means we could perhaps listen in if that creature is on the move or trying to break the door down.
True. Do we want to cover the 2 doorways in front of us just in case?
Yep. Let's open them up.
So both of these doors are currently sealed locked. And both need codes.
Okay, so we're safe then, in that regards.
Did you say there was a refrigerator and a microwave in here?
Yes, there are.
I think I'd be able... sorry, go on, Wyrick.
Sorry, I'm just thinking if these creatures, they seem to be almost of a liquid metal state. I'm wondering if there might be something we could do with the parts of this refrigeration unit in order to perhaps cool them down rapidly, perhaps even just as like a slow down sort of thing.
Good idea. I was thinking more like, is there a charging port, or is there a way I could siphon the electricity to charge up my holodeck while we have a breath?
You're just looking for an outlet.
I mean, there are, but this place is on emergency power, so it would take a while. You do have a portable battery charger in the strange triangular threaded robot that came with you.
Okay, do
But
that
it's
then.
on the
Alright.
other side. It's on the other side of this sort of debris hill.
Yeah.
Oh, so we have to go get the robot and bring it back.
All right.
I'll go do that.
Um,
I'll go bring Sweet along, because
gonna check-
while catching a breath, we can charge up my holodeck.
I'm also going to check the room, the ceiling, anywhere there's a vent. And I want to try and weld that. Let me think. Is there a vent in here, or is there not?
There's one where like the microwave and the sort of the cooker kind of thing are, because obviously to stop the moisture from getting in here. And you can see like a patch of rust around it, but you think that's more normal looking rust than the stuff that you saw before. It's not bubbling, it's just rusted.
Is it against the wall where
Yes.
that vent was? Okay,
Yes,
that's
it
a
is.
potential risk. I'm gonna open up the fridge door. Let's have a look in the fridge.
Constitution saving throw.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh god. What do you want me to actually roll?
That's what I'm just thinking. It's I'm gonna say, because obviously your mouth is kind of like
It is covered.
You've got breathing apparatus, basically. So I'm going to say
Yeah.
you can roll it as your highest stat.
Okay, I'll just roll this then. Uh-oh.
Okay. The smell is absolutely pungent.
Uh-oh.
Every bit of food in here has gone off, and it's grown. It's got its own climate in here. There's moss, there's mushrooms, there's all sorts growing in here. You don't even know if some of this has maybe been created. This is new stuff, never documented before, because ew.
Yeah, I did tell you last session that the last log was like 7 years ago.
And then you see, like, kind of at the back, there's like several like jars, and it just looks like soup, but like the worst soup you can imagine.
Well, I didn't come in here for food. I'm actually going to try and wrench the fridge door off.
Okay, you can give it a bash.
Sure. I don't know if my bash is down from the closing of the vent earlier. Or was that not strenuous enough? I don't know. Because that'd be down to a D4 if it was.
You didn't close it on your own. This is the thing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it's fine.
All right. Well,
Okay.
still struggling.
You start to try and like wrench the door off. And you almost bring the entire fridge with you, and some of these glass jars that are in here kind of fall off the shelf and hit the floor and smash open.
Oh no.
And it's kind of like you hear about it when people mix vinegar and bleach, and you can just feel the gas kind of rising.
God, he made mustard gas, Captain.
Wow.
But
Or like just a really, really dangerous stink bomb.
But you've pulled it away from the wall, so that would be helpful at least.
I mean, the door is still attached to the fridge, but
Yeah.
you've pulled it away from the wall.
Yeah. That...
All right, let's
Oh.
just keep your masks on, everyone.
Yeah.
I am going to use the plasma cutter instead and just cut the door off.
Yeah, that
And
works.
then I don't know why I didn't do that before. And then I will place the door up against the vent, and I'm going to weld that as well.
Sure. Okay,
Yeah.
so you spend some time doing that. It's going to take you a little while just because the
And
fridge
then-
door is quite large.
Of course. And whilst the others are waiting around, I'm going to tell them to sort of take a break,
Take a breather.
recuperate. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Just before I do, or perhaps as everyone else is taking a break, is there any way I could essentially, during this period, salvage parts from like the fridge and the microwave to create something that I think might be suitable to perhaps project cold air or something to try to cool something down?
Roll me a d20 if you're going to scavenge.
Okay, D20. Damn it, dice. I don't know what a 6 does, if anything.
You find, like, I don't know, some of the sort of inner plating that's kind of used to keep the fridges cool. They're filled with like this sort of silicone gel that you use. You know, you'd kind of normally find it in like ice packs and things like that.
Yeah.
The ones that you kind of snap and.
Yeah.
But this stuff is literally just like a thick gel. Like that slime stuff that you can pull when you're stressed, kind of thing. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's about the most you find in terms of coolant.
Yeah, that's a different model to what I was expecting. That's a shame. I guess I will take a break. And just whilst on this rest, I guess I'm going to look over think on what we've found so far, particularly in regards to the plants and what was scanned from the thing.
Sorry,
I-
I have returned.
Am I able to bring sweets over the debris, or I can't remember which way we got through it?
So yeah, you can attempt to bring sweet over the debris. It's kind of it's a little bit it's almost the size of a cat carrier.
So
And it's got sort of like treadmill wheels. So if you pulled it along enough, it could probably get over this sort of vertical crowd of debris.
Is it heavy?
Yes.
Hmm.
So you will need to give me a bash.
Would I be able to? You know when you're like when you see, going back to the whole pirate thing, like when you put a plank across a barrel and then one person jumps on the end and flings another person over.
No, because the gap that Maria made in this debris it's like a small tunnel. You guys had to literally crawl your way through it. It's not big enough for you
Oh.
to catapult it over.
Because I saw that part of shoot was throw, so I was seeing if I could throw it over.
No.
That's a shame because my bash sucks right now. Well, my bash sucks anyway, but
You can always get someone to help you.
2.
Yeah, you start attempting to make your way up. Luckily, Sweet has again those sort of tread rollers kind of help. It's really slow going, and it's very very tiring. It's going to take you a while, and then you've got to try and squeeze the little robot through that gap, and
Alistar,
Yeah, you
it
see a
just
lot
kind
of
of it kind of gets to the top, and you're kind of at that point where you're having to sort of carefully reverse yourself backwards to pull it through, and it kind of gets wedged in that gap.
yeah. There's probably a whole montage of different ways of pushing and pulling this robot to try and get it through.
Alistair, what are you doing? We need to go back that way. We're not
Yeah.
leaving Sweet behind.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring Sweet along, but
Just discharge your system there. I've welded the creature in the vent. It'll either
okay.
buy us some time or it'll completely keep it caged.
Okay. Shall I just leave my holodeck here and come back to the common, or shall I stake
Yes,
out here?
stay with the crew.
Okay. All right. I'll post up at the end of this corridor, and I'll have Bubbles perk up and meow if, well, not meow, bleat if sees anything come down the corridor.
I'll come over to the cupboard here and I'll grab like a tumbler from the shelf. And I'm just going to place it against the wall with my ear to it.
So,
And yeah, I guess we're going to try and take a breather.
Maria doing anything in all this?
I'm trying to recall the ordeal earlier.
So yeah, if Maria wants, they can go over to Sweet as well, because Sweet does have like a little charging station for you too, so you could spend some time getting your recovery in too. Because you'd have to catch your breath slightly differently from everyone else because you don't breathe.
Do we care that Maria is wandering off on her own to? No, okay.
Sweet's in this debris, isn't it?
Yeah, Sweet's kind of wedged in the little gap that you made, kind of, you know, it's like that bit in Wally where Wally's kind of just sort of sitting there hanging over.
Ow.
Block the way.
And there's like the little the holodeck kind of thing is in one charge port, and you can obviously detach your wire and plug yourself in and get your recovery in.
A nice little USB station.
Yeah, something like that. So everyone who is catching their breath, you can now reset your skills to their original rating.
Somebody do that for me, please.
No, you're not allowed to catch your breath.
Yeah, I'll sort you out. Bring my holodeck back to.
Where I wish this was some sort of plasma rifle that I could just recharge, but I need bullets for that.
Or what, for the shotgun?
And
For my sniper
and do we
rifle.
Do we recover any stress?
I don't believe that you do. It just says reset your skills.
Okay. Oh boy. All right.
Only med packs can do that.
Seems so.
So you can use. Oh, technically you can lay low, which technically you're doing by taking a breath. It clears 1 stress.
Feel like we are maybe laying low.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can clear 1 stress because you've got
Okay.
yourselves in a safe place.
All
Air
right.
quotes space.
Yeah, safe. I've more like put.
You've made it the safest place you can be. You've got someone on watch. Maria's charging. I'm gonna say you guys can
All right.
have that 1 point.
Cool. That puts us all to no stress now.
Sorry, I'll be back in a second. My foot is starting to cramp. Hold on.
No problem.
Oh, Bubbles, you perked up.
So, once we finish this, Captain, what's the plan?
Well, I need to speak with Sweet.
Yes, that makes sense.
Well, I brought a closer for you.
Yes. Head down the corridor. Maria looks fully
I
charged.
wonder if there's an onboard. I wonder if there's an onboard system for this ship. Might be able to find out some information about the crew.
Take my holodeck.
Thing is, with how well packed up this ship is, I'm wondering if there even was a crew. Like maybe this ship was on autopilot to be provided a crew?
Well, we just...
Well, even then, there would still need to be a AI.
Yes, there would definitely be an AI at least, but...
Well, didn't we just see a crew member? Like...
Well, we saw something made of rust.
No. Before that, the one that took Maria was
It looked humanoid.
It had flesh, but it also had bionicle parts that were rusted. And we could see the flesh.
I mean, we need to find one of the crew that hasn't turned into one.
So the concern here is how many more crew are there, and how many of them had bionicle parts, and how many of them are like that.
Well, if these rooms are sealed off, perhaps someone's inside, sealed there, so we could try just knocking on the door, see if anyone's inside.
Maybe there's some non-bionicles like myself who survived.
It's possible, though.
My foot keeps cramping still, but
as you said,
push through.
It seems to have been a while, so I can't see any way anyone could have survived except maybe in a cryo chamber.
Does this have anything written on the door of this room in front of us? And if not, can I reference the map and see what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, you can absolutely reference the map. It's got there's a symbol on the door. It's almost like a hazard sign.
Cryo.
Potentially, yes. As you go to look at the map, the holodeck, it does indeed show you that there is some sort of cryo chamber in here.
I haven't seen any signs of the crew. Perhaps they never worked through cryo sleep.
If the ship is in low power mode, it's possible that some sort of security backup took place, which has kept them in cryo sleep to maintain their life whilst the emergency occurs.
Alistar, you think you can get this door open? Now that you've recharged your...
This one here?
holodeck? Yes.
Sure, I'll give it a go. Good old 9.
Yeah. You spend a few minutes plugging in the device, and it starts to run through numbers, doing like a little countdown sort of situation as it goes. I'm just trying to find... There it is. Yeah, it rolls on for a little bit and it goes through all the different numbers, letters, all the combinations it could possibly be, and eventually it kind of does this sort of like, it does the hissing noise and the air releases, and the door kind of pops open ever so slightly, to let you know that the door is now unlocked.
Yes, as we suspected. Cryo chambers.
They appear to be populated cryo chambers.
You can roll a what's the one? It is a think check.
Okay, that one I am good at, so I will give that a go. 5.
Okay. A lot of the glass is kind of like frosted over. And each of them have little lights on them. They're all red lights. These cryopods seem to be quite old. From your perspective, they're out of date. They're not very good. They're pretty naff, really, but they're kind of like the OG. You know, like when you see the original Apple Mac. And...
Wow, I haven't seen a model like this in at least 6 years, I think. Maybe more.
And there's only one that seems to be occupied.
Words. According to the map, is this the only cryo chamber room?
Yes.
Which means there is at least 5 crew members. But one of them's populated here, so... And we saw one earlier, so that accounts for 2.
Well, one
Would
of
a ship
them...
this size really be crewed by 5 people?
I mean, our ship is crewed by that many.
With an AI system in place, I mean, a lot of the process of ships nowadays is automated. Apart from like the close range stuff, most of the distance will be. Well, we've got
either that or they top and tail in the cryopods.
We've got a crew member captain potentially. I could try waking them. They might be able to provide some information.
What our life sounds like. Steady.
They're at least in there. Probably Kingsley, Maria. Do you want to give the sign to look over just in case I'm missing something? It's at least occupied, but that doesn't mean that what's in there is still alive, I suppose, but...
Maria and Kingsley, if you'd both like to roll me think checks to see if you can assess the damage from outside the cryopod.
Kingsley.
Sorry, say that again.
Think check.
So think check to see if you
Think
can
check,
assess how,
yeah.
the status of the person inside the cryopod.
Somebody didn't reset my stuff.
I did. I reset all your things. It's a D10.
Okay.
6.
So, Maria, as you go to sort of plug yourself in to get the statistics and stuff like that, you find that this brand of cryopod is literally so ancient that none of your wires are compatible. So you're not able to really ascertain any readouts from the cryopod itself.
Change everything to USB-C, they said. Will make things easier, they said.
Kingsley, you approach, and obviously you take a more manual approach to the situation. You kind of like, you know, move some of the moisture off the glass and, you know, squint at it. You can see that the person inside the cryopod is sort of a middle-aged male, clean shaven, but the hair is kind of like unkempt. It's kind of a bit of a mess. And you can see that there's a large tear in the side of the jumpsuit, that's kind of stained sort of like a brownish orange, but the skin underneath it seems to be like a healed scar. So it's almost like that sort of weird purpley color that scars go when it's cold. But it's a huge wound that it would have been. It kind of goes most of the way across the sort of the side ribs and the stomach area.
And is there anything that looks like denotes their station?
Kingsley would recognize the symbol of a medic on their uniform.
Ooh. So is this like a case of if we take this person out of cryo, they die?
The scar seems to be
Well-
healed, but
Kingsley, is there anything- Is there something to be concerned about?
I don't know. I'll quickly check around the cryopod itself. Does it look like there's a breach or anything like that?
sorry, say again. Does it look like?
There's a breach of any kind.
No. Nothing that's obvious to your line of sight or anything like that. It's the cryopod seems to be very, very well intact, much like the others around it. Any of the
How long it's been going for?
if you check all the readouts and things like that, it gives you the same information that kind of Wyrick has already told you. It's about 6 years old. It's been in action maybe about that long.
This person's
What are you doing,
boots.
Kingsley?
I'm not entirely sure. This crewmate here has suffered an injury that probably did not tackle before he ended up in cryo.
An
If we
injury.
open it,
Ooh.
about opening the
Let me
cryo
s-
sleep and assessing the damage. Not sure how fatal it was.
Let me see that. Can you point it out?
Yeah, I point to the crew member I'm standing in front of.
Aye.
It's a reddish- Is up the same rust on the Parombe uniform?
Does it look more like coagulated blood?
Cam, you're very hard to understand. I can barely hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've turned you up to max, but
It's quite muffled.
yeah, it is muffled. I think he asked, does it look like the same kind of rust?
But I said, does it look like coagulated blood? Or the rest?
It looks more like the coagulated blood.
Hmm.
It looks okay.
So basically, where the shirt has kind of got this staining, it would have been where the wound was caused. So it's all the bleed out from that.
They took
It
you.
looks like this crate this crew member may have encountered the creature.
Hmm.
Right. Well, I feel like that's enough talking. Let's crack this baby open.
Are you insane, most of? Could do no such thing.
No?
This crew member is clearly
I-
contaminated as well.
Well, he may be contaminated, but it's also possible that the cold from the cryo chamber may have killed off any contamination.
Exactly. And he's the smart one.
Eric, are you able to see any life?
Any oddities, etc. Checking the readouts.
Any vitals?
Yeah, checking the readouts. Can I, even if this is an older model, can I see anything odd in the readouts which might indicate something additional?
So give me a think check to see if you can understand any of the output that it's giving.
Ah, yes. D8, I guess.
I mean, even
Oh,
if
3.
they are still contaminated, surely we would want to wake them up for information, even if we have to, you know,
It's only
take
a
them out
3, so I doubt I'm getting
afterwards.
much. It's in that strange language that some of the other equipment's
It
been in.
is in that odd language, but you look at this, the readout, and you kind of you figure out, because it's an older model, but it's got similar functions as to
Yeah.
the cryopods that you would have learned to use back in the day. And you start to scroll back, and you can see at the very, very beginning of the logs, the readout was in the common language. And it starts out with Dr. Ben Philpott, full tank of oxygen, medic, aged 38 years old, and it goes through a load of statistics about this person. And it tells you the date that the cryopod opened, and then it tells you the date that it was next audited. And then it goes on for a couple of weeks at a time. And then all of a sudden, you can see that the cryopod was opened again. And then that's where it kind of goes haywire. And that's where the language changes.
It's almost like the systems here have had some sort of strange corruption. That this cryopod looks to be in the records are in standard language, and then once it gets to the last time it was opened, at least I would assume so, as I can't read the rest, then it starts going into the same strange language that I don't recognize that, for example, the plants and the other scanners use.
So almost like they were shut down during an update.
Perhaps, but I'm wondering if perhaps these rust creatures that we've been dealing with, the reason is perhaps there's some sort of, not just like a living rust, but some sort of alien life form with its own language, and it like almost like a what's the right term? A biomechanical life form, almost. And so it's adapted the systems for its benefit, though Wyatt wouldn't have just tried to take this person over, I don't know.
In any case, this cryopod is likely being compromised. The system using a different language. Either that or the crew went insane. In any case, we're not outwinning this.
Yes. The other pods are intact, you said,
Parts are
right?
gone for the Lily.
The other pods are intact.
Now, this is something I know a lot about. I'm wondering, do I think there's anything that could be gained from like dismantling, or anything that you could get out of these pods that could be useful? Basically, is there anything I can scavenge, I guess?
You can give me a scavenge roll. Cameron, what did you say earlier? I didn't catch it.
Don't worry.
It
Okay.
sounded to me like he said, in spite of the lily. So at this point, I'm just typing down all the quotes of the kind of Cameron things he says.
Okay.
I got a 15 on my scavenge check.
Nice.
Okay. So as you're kind of hunting through this room, you do accidentally pop open one of the empty cryo chambers. Within it, you find. Bear with me. There's a couple of bits in here, like someone almost stashed some stuff in here. You find a bottle of scotch. You find a couple of blank notepads. You find a lab coat and a box of crackers.
Oh.
Wyrick, they've just given me an idea. Do you still have that sample?
You're thinking
Open
put
up
it
one
into
of
the
the
cryopod.
cryopods. Yes, place it inside, see how it reacts. And everyone else, keep your ears open. This creature seems to be connected to it. Psychic events.
Yes. Alright, so I'm gonna try popping the sample that we got into the cryopod and basically activate the cryopod's like cooling function. I'm gonna take the bottle of scotch as well.
Sure.
That's
You can take the bottle of scotch.
So,
because
Hey, we could use that as an explosive.
exactly, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Or as a celebration when we're done. Looks like a particularly good year.
yeah, okay.
Weirdly, it's my favorite brand.
Yeah, so you managed to quite easily program this pod. It's in a foreign language, but you've got the general layout of how cryopods work, and you can do it all by sort of symbols that are on buttons and things like that. You activate the cryopod. It takes a couple of minutes for it to get going, and you can hear the sort of pipes start to hum and click. And again, because this place is on emergency power, but the cryopods are classed as vital equipment just in case this kind of event happens, they still have enough power to set themselves and thaw themselves. And you watch as the sample that you put in here starts to solidify. And it kind of looks like amber as it kind of starts to lose motion. And then you hear like a thudding and sort of like a scraping from the corridor behind you.
Oh.
On to move.
But
This creature is obviously detecting our presence.
It's a hive mind almost, it seems like.
So
Davis.
as you guys step out into the corridor, you can literally see that Bubbles is waving its head around kind of erratically and is kind of like rubbing its head on the ground,
Oh no, it's got
almost
bubbles.
agitated.
I grab
And
Bubbles.
Maria, you can almost detect this really high-pitched noise. But none of the rest of you can hear it.
Oh. It's almost like it screaming, but perhaps in a pitch too much for humans to hear. Interesting.
To you guys, it just looks like Bubbles is like kind of freaking out. How does Maria behave in this situation, Yaz?
Not really dramatic like Bubble, because like they're a machine.
Yeah.
They're not really that bothered about lad like ringing. I wouldn't assume anyway.
So there's no obvious signs. It doesn't seem to be affecting her in any drastic way.
Nah. Wait, is there any specific direction it's coming from? Sorry, I kind of missed it.
Yeah.
It was said.
No. I didn't mention the high pitched sound seems to be coming from the back towards the engine area.
We can't get. Sweet is blocking
Oh,
other thing that I.
sorry.
Unless someone wants to bash the debris a bit bigger. Like,
Yeah, Sweet is still wedged in that little gap.
yeah.
Well, if anything, we made the perfect blockade. So we don't have to deal with that. But also we're going to consider I kind of made the area low oxygen in the hopes of stopping it spreading.
We need to get to the reactor.
Yes. Do we want to make sure that we've got an escape route secured so we can get back? Or do we want to make this
Wow.
all or nothing sort of thing?
Our ship is located on the other side of this wreckage. So once we hit the reactor, get it overload, we should be able to get to our ship no problem.
Right, understood. Let's get to it, I guess.
Before we do, Sweet, am I right in thinking there's enough control override inside the reactor room to actually get it to overload.
The
But would I
smaller
need a
robot, the
captain's-
smaller robot that's kind of wedged, it doesn't have any speaking commands. It like a little screen kind of pops up and it'll give you like the readings that it can take. But it's all the information that you currently have.
Oh,
Seems we've lost communication with Sweet.
let's go back through.
So yeah, you'd have to move Sweet out of this wedged state to get through.
Yeah, I'm gonna push them back through so that
So you push Sweet through this gap, and basically it just kind of it's a fairly sturdy older robot, so it kind of just tumbles down, and much like anything that was made back in the day, it doesn't break. It's like a Nokia 3310. It's like
good.
just kind of wheels itself back up. The little chlorine comes up, and it sort of flips you the bird.
Alright.
When we went into the engine area, didn't I find out that one of the ducts goes into the reactor? Does it?
Yes.
And one
There's
of
a
them.
section in the engine room that is completely shut off, which is the reactor room.
Yeah, and there's a couple of air ducts, and one of them might potentially be broken into the
Yeah.
reactor.
Yeah.
So there is a way in,
Right.
apart like not using the main doors that seem to be blocked.
I'll lead the way then. We all still have our breathing equipment
Everyone
on.
just give me a think roll, please. You don't need to spend a think roll. I'm just asking because I need to check something.
Okay.
Okay.
Decent.
Okay.
Wow.
Really only Alistar with a success.
Oh, there you
wait.
go.
Kingsley got a 7.
Kingsley and Alistar, as you guys are coming through this, and obviously you're talking about the vents and things like that, and there may be a way through. Something makes you look towards where the ship is docked. And the door that you guys had to pry open, you think it's open a little bit wider than it should be.
That would be concerning if there wasn't an electric tunnel on the other side of that door.
Well,
However,
we don't know if it's still electrified.
can I check the tunnel?
You can check the tunnel.
Is it still electrified?
There's sort of like a low buzzing sound that you can hear. Kind of like when you leave something plugged in and it makes that kind of electronic buzz. I don't know if you guys hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If a
it's
room
like a
is dead
static.
quiet. Yeah, you can hear that. But as you kind of look through here, give me a think roll, please.
Actual
Yeah.
think roll.
actual
Static,
think
the
roll, yeah.
taste
Oh.
of sparkling water.
5.
Nothing else seems out of the ordinary. The other door is still sealed. But you don't see the ship.
Guys,
The pad that was on the side of the door that you used to connect your holodeck to in the first instance would have had an image of the ship on it. The ship's no longer on that image.
I shut the door and I turn around and I go, the good news is we've inherited a ship. The bad news is we lost our old ship.
What?
That's impossible.
Well,
Unless...
it's no longer there.
Unless that's what that clunking sound was earlier, which threw the ship. Did it forcibly disconnect us?
So,
The ship has
Captain,
been
you
rotating.
walk over to the door and you see the same thing on the pad to the side of the door. The ship is not connected.
Right, nobody panic. Was likely, like you say, disconnected. It might just be floating some distance away. So if we could communicate with Sweet remotely, I'm sure she can autopilot it back into the docking bay.
Maybe, but that
And-
does explain why we lost communication with Sweet.
And
Sweet, the little robot, doesn't speak. There's no communication. It's all on a little screen that's on the little
Tell
robot.
about Sweet the AI aboard our ship.
in which case, would it be worth checking perhaps the cargo bay to see if there are suits in case we have to do a walk back?
Alright.
Probably.
Did you find any suits in the cargo bay? You were in there, weren't you?
No,
You
we
haven't
went
been
in,
to the
we
cargo
went in,
bay
we
yet.
went into the medical
Oh,
bay.
and
we
this
didn't go
one.
into Cargo. Is this door
Alright.
sealed as well, or can we open this
No,
one?
this one seems to be open.
Okay, I will open it. Or I would.
You open up this door. This room, there's a wreck. Like, there's boxes toppled everywhere. You think it might have been from that jolt earlier. And obviously the way that the gravity has sort of shifted, and it's pulled from one side to another side. A lot of these are kind of pulled where they were all stacked. It's like going into like a child's bedroom when they've not tidied their room and they've got too many toys. It's literally just all over the shop.
Well, this is going to be fun.
Well,
I
box
were just
each.
looking for suits. Let's
But-
not waste time.
but
Alright,
Yeah.
so if you are searching, scavenge rolls, please. So that's a d20.
everything is out of the
20s.
boxes, so nope, I'm not finding anything today apparently.
Wow. We both got 4s. 2 4s, a 5, a 14, and a 10.
Okay. So Maria immediately beelines, because knowing the material that a spacesuit would be made of, can analyze and start scanning the room, and immediately beelines and manage to find 2 spacesuits. Where is it? Captain, you pick up something that you think looks like a spacesuit, and then you pull it further out of its box, and it turns out it's just a really, really elaborate kind of like throw rug.
Wow. Thermal blanket, anyone?
Yeah, it's essentially what it is. It's kind of like those foil blankets, but it's thicker.
Could be useful in the
Alright.
right situation.
Oh,
Kingsley.
well, hold on to it.
Kingsley, you don't find like a full suit. You find like a radiation suit. So it's not a space suit. It's like a radiation one.
Thanks, mate.
So it might protect you, sort of, if the room in the reactor is contaminated in any way. It may give you some protection, but it won't help if you've got to go outside.
It could be useful for whoever goes into the reactor to override it, I guess. Just in case.
I wonder
Dude.
who that will be.
Amongst other things, you find things like there's a discarded kind of like formal jacket that came from sort of like a military background. It's got a few like sort of insignias and things like that on it to symbolize captainship. You find like a box of pens that have kind of exploded as the sort of air pressures changed. Many device cords, a couple of batteries.
batteries?
Yeah, just like small
Any?
batteries for equipment.
Any that fit my plasma welder?
You can give me another scavenge, and we'll see if you can find
Yep.
one that fits.
Okay.
Ooh,
But yeah, you absolutely
19.
do. Yep. You
All
find a
right.
fresh new battery still in the box.
Cool. You know what? Sure, I've used it quite a bit for the door and the fridge and outside. I'll stick in the new battery.
Okay. Recharge.
I'm gonna keep a hold of the old one though, if I may.
Okay. For an emergency, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Could
Like-
also be useful as maybe a distraction or even like a weapon in itself if these things respond to electricity.
I like to think that I find one that has like a slowing chute for when crash landing on a planet, and I'm like, ooh, a pull card, and then I pull it, and the whole room just expands with the chute.
Why?
Because I rolled a 4.
I know, but still.
and everyone else got oh, you opened this and found this weird thing because you rolled so low.
Basically, so Alistar, you find you basically you open up a box that doesn't look like it's toppled over, and you find like boxes and boxes and packs of rations that are all sealed. There's enough to feed a ship for about a year in here.
Oh, I found all the snacks. Nice.
You open up another one and you find sort of they're kind of like they're jars of some sort of thick gel-like liquid that you know is almost like a resin, and it's used for a lot of patchworks on ships.
I chuck it to the captain. I assume this will
Ah.
go well with your welder.
Summer flange resin. Good.
It's
And then Wyrick, you find where is it?
Yeah, I don't find much. I'm apparently very bad at finding things.
You rolled a 4 as well. Okay.
Yep.
So you find a concealable knife and a box of dead recyclable batteries.
nice.
I
And
sort
then I
of
rip out the room.
I sort of look at the knife for a moment, look at the dead batteries, and just like, don't think there's anything I can do with dead batteries. Let's I suppose, well, at least we've got some suits, so if someone does need to walk over, then we can at least get them over to be able to redock the ship.
All right. I'm gonna start suiting up.
So who's going outside and who's going in the reactor?
Well, someone who's got experience with the reactor, and as you're basically the only one who works in that field, Alistar, I think that's gonna be you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Now,
Radiation suit then?
yes, get in the radiation suit, and I'm getting the spacesuit. But I
Yeah.
think Kingsley, I'm gonna need your help out there.
Maybe if you can't get the ship back, take a walk around to the bridge.
Potentially. That area of the ship, however, is more dangerous.
Cool. Right. Do I know which? Because I did a scan of the vents when I was down in the engine room. Do I know which side has the broken vent that could lead into the reactor?
Well, you went through originally the right-hand side one over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And then you came down through into this room down here.
Yeah. And these two doors at the bottom were locked off, but there were vents in this area, wasn't there? In this
Yeah.
yeah. So like
So the vents are here, 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 here. So they're basically either side of this wall where you come in.
I see.
And then there's another one in this area here, into the main reactor.
Oh, into the main reactor. Wow. Yeah, which one looks like it was damaged to be open? Was it the left or the right one?
I think it's the left one.
Left. All right.
I'm pretty sure I said it was the left one.
Right.
Well,
What are my orders, Captain, whilst we're doing this? Am I accompanying Alistar, at least not into the reactor, but to cover from behind, or am I just waiting?
I think you should go with Alistar.
Okay, apparently your robotic side has taken over a little there. A bit more.
This is what an astronaut suit sounds like.
Yep.
wow.
Fair enough. Let's head in then, Alistar.
Yeah, take care of Bubbles for me.
Maria, which way are you going? Are you going with Alistar and Wyrick, or are you going with the captain and Kingsley?
She put be right back. So I think she's sticking with us.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm the only one that should really
There's some rest. I think Maria would have a hard time in middle.
I caught none of that. What was
Yeah.
that?
I think Maria would have a hard time in space, possibly.
You're cutting off now.
Either that or it could just be the effect.
These are some rather old suits, Captain. I think
right.
possibly the voice filters down a little.
How to take the helmet off. Right. Maria can't go in the reactor because it's covered in that rust. Remember? Last time he was attacked. However,
yes.
she can breathe in outer space. So I feel like Maria should be with us.
Understood.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have to stay outside here anyway, Wyrick. Just cover me to the vents.
Yeah.
And
You both got breathing equipment, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, but if it's irradiated, there's only one suit.
But you can follow him into the cargo chamber, but not into the reactor.
Yeah, I'll follow into the vents.
And I'll it's not
Now,
broken at all.
Your job once you're in there is to see if you can get the reactor online. Don't set the detonation or overload yet. We need to retrieve our ship first. Understood?
Yes.
Understood.
Just see if you can gain control.
Yes, if we don't hear back from you within a certain period of time, we want to set it to overload anyway, so at least even if we can't escape, it's brought
If that creature comes back and you're in a dire situation, yes.
Understood.
Well, as they say, always split the party.
Okay.
All
right.
Alright, suit up, Kingsley.
So
Gonna do a spacewalk. Magnate's home.
let's do the spacewalk first. So Cam, Yaz, Chris, you suit up, or in Maria's case, charge yourself and get ready. The room on your left, in order to exit, you would need
Yeah.
to fix the door because you made a wrench hole in it, so it's not going to be able to decompress for you to leave. Otherwise, it's going to create a vacuum and all the air is just going to rush out the ship.
Okay. Last time I just pulled it open. Am I able to
Yeah,
pull it close?
You can do a bash and see if you can wrench it kind of back into shape.
Okay. Sure. Yep. Looks like I loosened it up from last time.
It kind of feels like it sort of molds a little bit easier.
Does that use up my bash?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Down to a D8. All right. I seal the door, lock it airtight, check the suits over one more time.
Yep.
And I guess we're going on a spacewalk.
So it starts to decompress. You can hear that low buzzing sound still, but it doesn't seem to be electrocuting you. You can feel a bit of static, so like your hair starts to kind of float, but that could also be from the gravity kind of decreasing.
Okay.
And then eventually you hear like the rush of air again, and the second set of doors can open. And as they do, you see the long tunnel that you walked through before. The emergency lights are still on, but at the end of it, there is no ship.
All right. Carefully, we. Is there we can't just walk out into space. Well, we can with mag boots, I guess. I was going to say
You do
if
have
there's
mag boots on these suits.
Okay. Is there any cords or anything in this room that you could connect your spacesuit to?
Yeah, so these areas always have the emergency cords and things like that for if you need to go and do exterior repairs and things like that. And they're basically, the wiring for these things runs all the way through the ship, so they're really long cables.
Okay.
So
cool.
So they're long enough that you could do a couple of laps around the ship without any worry at all.
All right. Well, with this helmet still on, I kind of gesture towards the cords, and I'm gonna couple us to the ship.
The only problem
then-
you may have the only person who may have a problem is Maria, because again, this is an older model ship, and Maria is very new, in terms of the way she's been built. So you'd have to try and attach it, but it may not fit perfectly, so it's not 100% secure.
All right. Sure. We'll take that risk.
Maria,
Sorry,
is there
Bruno.
anything you'd like to try and secure this to yourself a bit better?
Can I try and tie it around
Yeah, you absolutely can, yeah.
my little robot waist?
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's quite a thick piece of cord that will obviously hold on to the ship, but also will supply you with oxygen should you need it, which you won't, being a robot.
Yeah.
As I said, it connects to you, but it's not 100% secure. But if you wrap it around yourself, it just gives you that extra security and time. If it does disconnect, you can grab hold of it.
Okay.
Yep. Let's go.
Perfect. All right. Guess we head out.
Okay. Kingsley and Captain, you are venturing out into the vastness of space. You're both ex-military, and you've both also been under a great deal of stress before in your lives. How do you keep yourself calm as you do this?
Just concentrating on breathing. Body over mind. If I can control my heart rate, I can control my mental state. I don't know how Kingsley does his. That's how I do
Cam
it.
says he's lost his voice on Discord at the moment. It's not working. So I'll gloss over it for now. All I'm going to say is, if you can make me a what do we call it? What should we call it?
Sway.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a sway roll because it's to do with your emotions and your feelings, and we'll go from
Yeah.
there.
Cool. A 3.
Okay. Being a doctor, you know that you need air to breathe. You need your feet on the ground, and you start getting this kind of
Or do you want to roll for
Anxious.
Kingsley?
anxious. Oh, I thought that was Kingsley's roll.
No, that was my roll.
Oh, I didn't want
you
you
want-
to roll. You described
Oh,
yours. It was
sorry.
fine. I was
Okay.
getting.
Okay. Apologies. He's only got a D4. Sorry, I'll re-roll that. 1 sec. Oops. Sorry,
Okay.
Kingsley.
Yeah, the panic attack and the anxiety starts to build in your chest, Kingsley, and you're kind of like, I'm dying for a cigarette or a drink or something, and like you start almost having like this anxiety attack in your suit, and then your suit starts to alert you that like your stress levels are elevated, and then that noise just makes it worse. Maria, you as the medical robot, you can see that Kingsley is starting to panic, and he's barely set foot outside this door. Kingsley, you take a point of stress, and you're literally having a panic attack.
Oh boy, poor Kingsley. I'll mark that for him. Oh, God.
I just did. It's alright.
Oh, you did it. Okay, cool. Mood.
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 I
turn
So-
to Kingsley. I'll place my hand on his shoulder, and I kind of try to get his eyes to meet mine. I'm just like staring into them, just sort of trying to keep him focused on one thing. I'm just like gesturing towards my eyes again. It's probably just very muffled, but if you can hear me.
I'll say,
Kingsley's response: "I'm not used to spacewalks, Captain."
Calm down, soldier. He fought through worse.
Oop this shoop.
You've fought through worse. When other sides had their lives on the line. Now, you've got your own life all alone.
Okay. Well, I try to just grab him by the shoulder and gesture him to move forward. Keep moving, soldier.
Killicoff.
Head down. It's him with his spacesuit on.
Yeah, you're literally, you cannot hear anything you're saying. It's already really
That'd be the helmet.
distorted. Yeah.
Okay. I try to get him to move. If he can move forward, it'll keep him going, keep him focused on something.
I'll try to take a deep breath and hold on to the captain. All right, Captain, Kingsley's life and sanity is probably in your hands at this point.
Okay. Whilst he's holding on to me, I want to look around, see if I can locate. What's the... If I can I locate the ship by like just through eyes alone?
Give me a think check. I'm not going to make you spend the roll because you're in the fastness of space. There's only one place it could really be.
Okay. I
That
think
would
I've
be
only
in
got
front
a
of you.
D4. I've only got 2 for that.
No, you don't see the ship. It's not
Okay.
in front of you.
Maybe around the other side.
Can
I'm
I
gonna
give it a
spacewalk.
try?
Oh, yeah, go on, Maria.
Yeah, of course you can.
I have a D8, so
Yeah, roll it.
a D8.
Okay. So Maria, much like the captain, you can't see it, and you sort of turn on your sort of like the lights in your eyes, and that one that got damaged earlier is still blinking and flickering. But it gives a little bit more light for everyone to kind of see what's happening around them. You don't see it, but your senses are picking up an electronic signal that you recognize as the ship from the other side. The other side of this ship that you're currently holding on to. The signature has moved from where you currently are to the reverse side.
Oh, wow. It's like
Nice.
rolled.
It's gone for a spacewalk, ain't it? Right. Captain, I sense the ship is not on this. It is east.
As I suspected, for me to walk over, stay together, and keep moving. Kingsley, you've had people's lives on the line, on your operating table. Now it's your life on the line. Let's move.
Let's roll that.
Okay, so you guys kind of start to gradually make your way around the side of the ship. There's handholds for this kind of situation if exterior repairs are needed. So every so often you've got kind of like, you know, the handles you get on monkey bars, and you've got to kind of like reach over and pull yourself one by one along the side of it. You get about, I'd say a little bit further than you currently are, towards the back by the engines. And as you're coming round, you can see something just off a distance in front of you. There's like a shape holding onto a couple of these handholds. It doesn't seem to be moving.
Up ahead. Is that a body?
No life signs detected.
Oh no.
I'm gonna try and move the rest of the crew like up against the wall so we're not visible to it. Just so I can see and watch, see if it moves.
Sure. All of you give me a sneak just to see how stealthy you are.
Thank you, bro.
I think so. That's dash, isn't it?
No, there's one called sneak.
Oh, is that? Oh, of course there is.
Yay! I
Alright.
got that.
Maria
Okay.
just shuts off all her lights and it just goes completely dark.
Hey.
All right, Captain. Yep, you've done this sort of stealth mission before. You're like still as anything. All right, Kingsley. Fetal position, just against the wall.
I don't want to roll for it again. Yes, you
I'll
do.
do
They don't.
I'll do the honors.
I got one last time.
I'm sorry, Cam. This might not be good.
That's
It's not too
okay.
bad.
Yeah, it's
Nope.
fetal position. You're holding onto two monkey bars. Your legs are curled up, tucked towards you, and you're just like, I am not here. I am not here. And as you wait, I'm going to get anyone who is eyeing this thing to see if it moves to make a think roll. Again, I'm not going to make you pay for it because it's me asking for the roll.
Okay.
Because you are studying it.
That's not the right one. Ah.
I got a 4.
Okay.
Dice it a little bit hot.
Maria or Kingsley rolling, or is it just... Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
for Kingsley back.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
That was for me.
It's still a full 8. Yeah, the thing in front of you doesn't move. It seems to just be holding on and sort of frozen in one position.
The rigor mortis. Got the rigor mortis.
Yeah, Maria, you can assume that from the way it is, you think someone probably got stuck out here and has probably died in this position. Like you said, you don't detect any life signs, but whatever was in there was human in build, probably.
It's like a false alarm. I'm gonna get closer to investigate.
Cool. You get closer, and the thing still doesn't move. And as you get closer and closer, Maria's lights flicker back on, and you can see it's the outline of a suit very similar to the one that you're wearing, except much like the captain's jacket you found and the doctor's uniform in the cryo chamber. This one has got a symbol on the shoulder, and you can see there's a weapon strapped to its back. And underneath the little insignia on the arm, you can just see Corporal Bruce Gorn, Gunny.
No, Bruce.
So the others haven't caught up to me. Yeah, as I said, like I'll go ahead and investigate. And Kingsley's in a bit of a mental state at the moment.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Cam. We'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
So
We'll let you know if you survive or not.
Probably not.
was
Death by panic attack in space.
the breached the breached suit, is it it's not repairable by the looks, but
The suit's not damaged.
it's not?
No.
Interesting. In that case then strip him. I was actually literally gonna try that, yeah. I will do that. Can I secretly, without the others knowing, take the insignias off of him?
You can roll me a sneak, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Maria, will you please roll me a think check? You're not paying for this one because you're literally watching what the captain's doing. I just want to see how sneaky he's being. Okay. Maria, you see the captain remove something from the spacesuit, but you can't quite make out what it is.
Curious.
What'd you say?
Curious.
I turn around.
Is it of any interest to Maria at all as a robot, or?
Not really. She's kind of confused as what he's doing.
What relevance does this have?
Yeah,
I
literally
am simply trying to strip him so that we can acquire his suit. He can assist if he wishes.
as you wish.
Okay, we'll remove the helmet and gradually remove this body. I know it's stiff, but
Yeah, so what you can tell is as you start to kind of deconstruct the suit, is that this person has obviously escaped, and then as you're kind of disconnecting everything, the cord that was holding him to the ship and supplying it with oxygen is broken.
that's how he
That's
died.
the part that's not. That's the part that's caused his death.
Yeah. Okay.
The suit is intact. It's the cable that was connecting him to the air supply of the ship that's damaged.
That's also cause for concern. I checked my own cord. I checked the oxygen levels.
Yeah, your oxygen levels are holding steady. There doesn't seem to be any problem so far.
Okay. And then I guess after we've removed the suit, I'll just have to hold on to it for now.
Okay. I'm gonna say what we're gonna go for. I'm gonna say a dash to see if you guys can manage to desuit the body.
Okay. Maria, what's your dash?
He does indeed have a gun strapped to his back as well. A large sort of military style gun.
Tell you what, I'll give it a go. And then Maria can assist me. Oh, I got a 6. Sorry, I have Kingsley selected, but yeah, that's my roll.
Okay. So as you're kind of peeling the items off this like rigor mortis set body, you manage to get the helmet and you hand that to Maria, and then you get the gloves and then the rest of the torso, and you kind of slowly pile up Maria with so much stuff that they can't hold on to all the stuff and the ship, and they slowly start to sort of float.
Okay, hold on. I won't give them that much if they're getting too much. I will just grab onto bits of it myself. Kingsley, maybe you can return this back. Kingsley, hold on to this. Kingsley
will open his arms and just kind of... He's not looking out into space. He's literally staring at the wall so he doesn't have to face the vastness of space.
All right. Good. This will keep you occupied. So I just say, look after this stuff. And then I'll begin I'll continue the spacewalk around until we're on the other side of the ship.
Okay.
And we can get there.
As you kind of slowly get to the other side of the ship, you can, off in the distance, you can see that The Vargas 2 has kind of drifted away ever so slightly. It's upside down, but it's floating a little bit a ways. It's still in the area. Everything seems to be switched on and everything. It's just kind of upside down.
How far away is it from the ship?
It's a fair distance. You would probably need to get it to connect remotely to bring it over.
Okay. Can I get a signal? Or maybe I should ask Maria.
Yeah, Maria can try to see if they can get a signal. I'm going to say that's going to require another think check to see if she can boost the signal enough.
Am I expending that?
You are, yeah.
We need to contact Sweet.
I am done.
You reach out into sort of like the waves that come off the ship ordinarily. And you can feel them, you can hear them, you can almost connect them. It's like having such a really weak Wi-Fi signal that you've got like just like the one bar. Every so often it'll connect and then it'll disconnect. From here you still feel like you're slightly too far away.
I'm sorry, Cap, but
No, Maria. I'm sorry.
And I'll chuck Maria towards it.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Okay.
That sounded more dramatic than it needed to be, but no, they're still attached by a wire. I'm
You're
just gonna
literally
hold
yeeting
on
Maria into space.
towards the ship.
Okay.
That's a shoot if I ever thought it was.
Well, maybe a bash.
Well, shoot actually says track for fire.
So, Captain, I'm going to ask for a bash. Maria, if you're okay with this, then a dash combined.
Oh god.
If not, a bash to resist.
Oh, dear.
Did I let the yeet take me?
Do you let the yeet take you?
I've got a robot and he's my captain.
Yeah, you gotta trust me.
I got 4. Yeah.
Okay, so you're assisting in the dash, yeah. Alright. And you wanted a bash from me?
Yep.
Okay. D8 it is.
D8.
I got a 4 as well.
Okay, yeah.
Distinct.
Yeah, Maria, you get yeeted. You get a fair ways before, obviously, the vast sort of gravitylessness of space, that's not the word, the zero gravity starts to take effect and you do start to slow down, like a bullet losing its momentum. You do get closer.
Oh no, you don't lose momentum in space.
Just need little kit.
There's no friction. If I missed my shot, Maria would go off and continue going off.
Yeah, but she is tied to the
true.
ship as
Yes,
well by
that's
a heavy,
right.
heavy
Yes.
cord.
That is a good point. But yeah.
You do get closer. You're still moving, but not as fast as before. And as you slowly get closer, you do manage to sort of connect to the Wi-Fi. And basically
I'll
the
hold on
readout,
to the cord.
the readout that you kind of get from the ship is almost that something moved the larger ship the direct that you're on, and it was disconnected, and the ship is now upside down because it's kind of tumbled across the top of the derelict to the other side as after it's disconnected because the ship has kind of bashed into it and knocked it.
Right.
Is there... Can you get a hold of Maria? Sorry.
Can you get a hold of Sweet?
Sweet? Can you hear me?
There is no response from Sweet.
Oh.
Captain, I have got no response.
That is concerning. We'll need you to climb aboard the ship and see if you can take control.
As you wish.
And at the very least, open up the doors and pull a cord from our airlock out onto it, and I'll reel you back in. That way we have the connecting line to our ship.
As you wish.
Okay. As that's happening, I'm just going to skip back to the guys who are heading into the engine room. Wyrick and Alistar. So you make your way through the vents.
Let's cut the.
Yes.
All right.
Till we come to the broken duct.
Yeah. So the broken duct is. It's not a massive space. It's half eroded, and Maria told you this previously, because they could see through the vent. It's got that kind of corroded rust that kind of bubbles around it, and it's kind of eaten away slowly at this area.
Bubbles.
Am I able to use the back of the shotgun as like a way to punch through the eroded parts of it?
Yeah, you can roll a bash check.
Yeah.
Yeah, you manage to kind of make the gap bigger. It kind of peels away some of the metal, kind of bends out. The bubbling rust does start to move a little bit, but it just seems to eat more away at the actual vent itself.
How is this rust looking now in regards to how it did a while ago before I lowered the oxygen levels?
It's slower. It's a bit more sluggish than it was before. Before it was kind of like bubbling quite violently and constantly like shifting. Now it's a little bit slower.
That's good. Right.
Almost
so
like it's now tired.
Oh, I have no means of getting into this place unless the door's open. Is the door open? No, it's locked.
No, you've just got the two vents and then this door that was here that Maria tried to get through before, but the handle snapped off in their hands.
Are you able to put me on the other side of the wall now that as I climb through?
Are you climbing through, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna climb through because that's
Okay.
kind of. I'm aiming to get into the.
Can you just give me? I'm gonna say it's a dash check to see if you can manage to dodge through without touching the rust.
Touching the rust.
Well, because the rust is all over the vent, which you've kind of peeled back.
Oh. Hey.
Yeah. Okay, you manage it just fine. You kind of very carefully pull yourself through, and luckily the radiation suit isn't metallic.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to want to immediately, at least, consume the suit.
That's good. Was that a costly dash?
Yes.
Okay, alright, drop it to 4. Okay. Well, so far so good work. I am in.
So you enter the engine room.
Excellent.
There's a large machine in the center of this thing. The entire room is kind of, it's again this thick dust kind of layered over everything. The engine itself is silent. There's a few blinking lights on it, and there's a window to the inside of the engine where you can see all like the gears and everything moving.
Does this machine have a way of connecting or input, or would I have to move further into the reactor?
The reactor, this isn't the reactor, this is the engine itself. The reactor's in this room that's here. That's completely sealed.
Okay.
You're in engineering.
Oh, good
Yeah.
to know. I will enter the reactor then.
No, the reactor is completely sealed. It's completely locked off. You can't just enter it.
Oh, the door opened, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm going through the other duct. If this is how I need to get into the reactor. Or does the engine room have means of control?
The engine room would be the place where all the controls are, yeah.
So I can control the reactor from in here.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, that's what. Sorry, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
So I'll jack into the.
So you open up the engine. It's basically like a small kind of what do you call them? Like a bunker that you can open and you can enter it.
Cool. I will enter the bunker.
So you can open it up and you can enter the bunker. Inside there are several screens and lots of wires. And as Wyrick kind of pointed out before, there's some plant life in here, kind of like attached to some of these electricals. And there's not much data on the feeds at the moment. It's kind of, it gives you some power levels and it tells you the oxygen levels. And it gives you some dates. And this thing has been constantly on low power mode for a really long time without any disturbance. And it gives you the energy readout for the reactor, and the temperature in there is really, really warm. And there's one of the screens is just playing a random music video with no sound.
Oh no, I've been rickrolled.
There's yeah. There's like a hat as well, kind of hanging on a hook to one side. And there's like a small box of tools on the ground, which is kind of open, and there's a few bits of pieces on the floor.
It's almost like there was an engineer here.
Yeah.
At some point. So first off, I would like to see if I can hack into the controls of this as to learn whether if putting power to the ship, like activating the reactor more, would it cause it to overload?
If plugging in the holodeck can do that, or
I'd like to learn by plugging in my holodeck to see if I could turn the reactor on more.
okay.
And or if doing so would overload the reactor or not.
Okay. So plugging your device into it wouldn't necessarily just suddenly overload it, because it has its own battery power source that's not supplied by the reactor. And because the ship is already on low power mode, you don't think adding this to it is going to make much of a difference from what you can tell.
Yeah,
Most modern technology doesn't use as much power, so it's probably going to be pretty negligible.
Yeah, I'm just more so wondering if I turn the reactor on further, would that cause it to overload? Because you said the temperature was
Okay.
high.
Give me a think roll.
Yeah, I'm on a D6.
You have no idea.
Well,
This isn't the kind of model that you've learned to be around. The Vargas 2 is a slightly more modern ship. It's at least had parts replaced.
all right. I guess we are turning on the power more. That's what the captain wanted, and if it blows up the ship,
Okay.
then I guess I will. Yeah, that's the consequences of it. I'm going to try and turn on the power of the reactor.
Okay. So you have a look around. And you've got several screens obviously giving you readouts already. You've done some stuff to do with the engine and things like that. You can probably just about figure out your way around this to try and figure out how to turn it on. You've got obviously the holodeck as well to kind of assist you with this.
Just looking for a slider that says percentage of energy.
Yeah. There's no slider. There's like a touch screen where you can kind of use your hands to kind of balance it out. Yeah, and as you do this, there's kind of like a little pop-up, and it's like a little cartoon of a young girl kind of like wagging her finger at you, like nah, kind of like an access denied screen.
This is where I'll plug in my holodeck to override it then.
Okay.
And yeah, you know what? Because I haven't none of us have used it yet. I will cracking my super hacking skills and use a stunt
Okay.
to make it a D12.
All right, go for it.
I'm going hard at work.
Hacker man.
But man, oh come on!
Okay. You plug in the holodeck, and you start to kind of tap in combinations and get it rolling like you did for most of the doors. And the little icon on the screen kind of seems to stall for a moment. It kind of blinks. And then it changes. And it gives this grin and does like it flashes like a little peace sign. And it grants you access.
I got access. Okay.
And you hear a voice come over and just says, welcome back. I hope you've had a great day. Let's do some work.
Yes. Hello. Sorry, remind me again what your name is?
My name? I'm Sweet.
Oh, you're... Ah. What version of Sweet?
I'm the only version.
Huh. Interesting. They never actually upgraded Sweet in all this time. Okay. And who do you think I am?
You are Sweet.
I am pretty sweet. You're right. Okay,
If you are not Sweet, please confirm.
no, because I am sweet.
Very well.
Okay, can we maybe see 50% power to the reactor?
The reactor is currently contaminated. Are you sure?
Yes.
Powering
Well-
reactor to 50%.
Rip. Why did you do that?
And
I only did it to 50%. I didn't do it to 100.
the ship itself, it takes a few minutes and there's kind of like a grinding sound and the ship kind of judders a few times. And something in the reactor room behind you starts to spin and to churn.
Maybe this will destroy the contamination because they don't like electric.
Reactor core temperature at 75%.
What was it before?
It was warm, but it was like dormant.
Huh.
You've turned the reactor on, it's going to start heating up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Does it seem like the power is coming on though?
Yes.
Like have the lights come on?
The lights have come on and the ship's kind of had a bit of a judder and you can feel the gravity increasing.
Good.
Those of you outside of the ship, you can feel this jolt from the outside of the ship. You're lucky you have mag boots.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it would have thrown you.
Okay.
And you guys see that exterior lights do start to come on.
Cool. Sweet. What's the stability of the reactor right now?
I did recommend that you did not start the reactor.
And what's the stability?
Not very.
Ha. Okay.
I estimate that the reactor will last 1 hour before exploding.
And that was a long time.
That's a guesstimate.
And what if we lowered it down to 25%? Would that give us 2 hours? Guesstimation?
No, I believe the monsters would probably eat you first.
Wait, what?
Ask for
Sweet.
details on the monsters.
What? Speak to us about the monsters.
What would you like to know?
Oh wait, sorry. If the monsters didn't eat us in that time, would 25% give us more time in regards to the reactor?
Perhaps.
Okay, lower it to 25% and then speak about the monsters.
Lowering to 25%.
Okay, that should
What
be
would you like
enough.
to know?
How did they get onto the ship?
They were the crew.
How? In what regards?
We were brought here by the military on a secret experimentation mission on the edges of space, so as not to cause harm.
Huh. Huh. And what are they specifically, other than being some sort of rust life form?
Dr. Ben was working on a medical marvel that could help soldiers continue under pressure. Unfortunately, a lot of the results failed. Failures were put into cryopods and ejected into space.
Wow. Other than electricity, do they have any weaknesses that we should be aware about?
I'm afraid most of us died before we could find out.
Huh. Cool.
Captain Vermilion managed to sacrifice himself to save some of the crew.
And where would Captain Vermilion be right now?
He is probably dead. He sacrificed himself for us. He made his way to the bridge and sealed it, with several of the monsters inside.
Ah! Ah, okay, so we don't want to go to the bridge.
It would be unwise.
And whereabouts are the other crew members? We are aware that the doctor is in his cryopod.
Yes, the Doctor was the last one stable enough to perhaps salvage the mission or get word.
And where is the engineer?
I am the engineer. My body is in the reactor.
Oh. Like,
I managed to upload my subconsciousness into the ship.
oh,
Do not ask me how. I'm not quite sure how I did it myself.
interesting. So that's the captain, the engineer, the medic, and there's two more.
Yes.
And where do you know where they are and who they are?
Bruce tried to get the shuttle from the top of the ship. He did not return.
And he is the
We'll call him the Muscle.
muscle. Okay. And lastly,
The last one did not have a name, or at least not one that they would give us. We simply called him the Lizard.
oh, alien.
Yes,
What? Cool. Cool. What was his job?
he was in charge of the biomechanics of the ship. You may have seen them.
Ah, the trees
Yes,
that were spoke about. And these
their
little...
planet was more advanced than ours.
Where did this ship come from?
The
Like when it...
military.
Yeah, but what military planet was this stationed on before it left?
You're asking a question I haven't prepped for.
Sorry.
We will call it
CBs.
we will call it Sander.
Sander with an S.
Sanda.
Sander. Okay.
NDA. I see what you did.
Ah, Sander.
Sanda, with an
Yeah.
A in the end. Yep, that's the one.
Santander.
And was the ship just heading into nothingness, or did it have an end destination?
The Vargas was heading to a remote asteroid on the edges of space where we could continue.
Wait, what? The Vargas?
The Vargas was heading out to space on a remote asteroid to continue experimentation.
Oh. I'm just speechless at this point. I literally was just like, what?
Why would you be speechless?
Are you aware of... Look, I forgot your name. Of Captain Killicoff?
I am.
What was he to you?
He was Captain Vermillion's brother.
Oh. Okay. 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 Ooh, wow. We may have been led on a bit of a suicide rescue mission. Cool. Cool, 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 cool.
Alistar, ask them if the shuttle that Bruce was going for is still in place. Could be a useful escape in desperate situation.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, is the shuttle still attached?
It is, and fully functional. I keep my ship in good repair.
I can tell, looking around.
The cleanliness of the ship is not included. I am a mechanic, not a cleaner.
Ask
You've
them.
done
Ask them why so many things just seem to be unpacked, like they've not been touched.
Yeah, why has a lot of this not been unpacked?
How do I put this? The medical room that has not been unpacked is a decoy, just in case we were boarded.
So there's an even better medical room?
There is.
And in which direction? Well, I have the map up here, but what
It would not be
is...
on the map in case we were boarded.
Oh, so where would the medical room be in regards to the decoy?
If you are sweet, you should know the answer.
Oh.
That's true, I do. Just glitching a little bit is all.
The real sweet is not an AI. The real sweet is a person.
Cool. Anyway, yep, we'll go to that medical room.
Ask them. Ask them if the medical room is safe to go to.
Is the medical room safe to go to?
That depends on what you touch.
Are we likely to run into any dead crew members?
Yeah, are we likely to run into any dead crew members or rust
Most
monsters?
likely. Possibly
Ah.
some alive ones as well.
Oh, fun.
Huh. Huh. Okay. Cool. So, potentially many rust monsters. How
There are
many?
at least 2
At least 2 rust monsters.
that are awake currently.
And how many are asleep?
I am unsure. They are asleep.
Cool. So, 2 hours guesstimation till this blows up. Is there a way that I could fast track that if something was to happen? Like, am I able to download you onto my holodeck?
I am already on the holodeck.
That you are. So I
I
should be able
built the holodeck.
I mean my holodeck.
Is it not adapted from my original design?
Sadly not. It's an upgrade. Could I plug you into it?
You may.
Cool. I plug and connect. Sweet.
As you do that, the music video from the off screen appears on the holodeck and starts playing. It's like a little load screen.
Cool, right. I unplug the holodeck after it happens, and I try talking to Sweet through the holodeck. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Are
Can
you
you hear
still?
me?
I can, yes. Are you still able to control things from here?
Of course.
Cool. Right, so we have a means of destroying the ship if we manage to make it out of here in under 2 hours.
May I ask you a question?
Sure, why not?
You mentioned Vermilion's brother.
Yes,
Is he here?
he is. Yes.
How
Why not?
wonderful.
Is that a problem?
No, in fact, it's most fortunate,
And why would that be?
because I have not seen him in a very long time.
Oh, that's good. We'll be able to have a little catch up.
Yes, a reunion.
Anyway, let's get out of here now we've done what we need to do.
Hmm.
And I will travel back with actual Sweet?
Um,
Original
Yep.
Sweet? Sweet 1.0?
So Sweet has told you that her body is in the reactor and that they uploaded themselves as
Yeah,
an
yeah,
AI
so-
to the ship.
So
So-
Sweet was an actual person that turned into an AI technically by uploading their consciousness, and then they have also been uploaded into the Vargas too. Cool. That's cool. And there are many monsters, two that are awake. I'm saying all this to Wyrick. And a few that might still be dormant. We've met the medic, the engineers in the reactor. The gunner tried to go for the shuttle. Seems like they might have died. And the captain is locked themselves in the brig with many of the monsters.
Essentially, that's why the front was torn apart. Maybe they set off some kind of explosion to suck them into the vacuum of space.
Oh, and there's a lizard person.
Hmm.
So that's all. He did all the biomechanical trees and whatnot.
Wait, would that mean ask Sweet if they're able to translate the lizard's language?
Oh, sweet. Yeah, what he said. Can you translate the lizard language?
I can. I was fluent in the lizard's language. I am quite capable of translating it.
Then
Oh, this is so cool.
then perhaps we should head back to the cryo chamber and we can see if the medic's vital signs are actually in a state where we could wake them up. Because
Yeah.
we can read it after that, at least whilst we're waiting for the captain to get back. Actually, one other question. That's coming to mind. Do you have a manifesto of what items should be in the cargo hold and a way to easily identify where they might be? Like a particular box, for example, like look in red box and you'll find this.
Bruce was the one in charge of the cargo. He kept all his lists. You may find access in his chambers.
And is his chambers next to the cryo chamber?
They are. He shared it with the doctor.
Damn, that was a good guess. Okay, let's scan the Let's get the information from the doctor, see if we can wake him up, and then look in Bruce's room, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, also, the medic room, it was a fake. There is an actual one, and it may or may not be dangerous to go there.
Well, that's another reason to wake up the doctor, because if anyone's going to know where it is, it's them.
Are you sure we should do that, considering we were given specific orders not to?
Well, we can at least find out more details. At the moment, I'm actually not sure which one of us technically is in charge whilst we're waiting for this. I guess you, as you are in charge of the reactive thing, but this is cryogenics, which is my specialty, so let's at least find out what happened to him, I suppose.
I'll leave it with you, and
Yep.
you can get done if.
Yeah. Well, I've already been
I'll-
threatened with court-martial once today. Because
I'll
of
take it.
military.
I'll take out the captain's shotgun that he lent me.
Right,
Ready,
so,
in case.
Sweet, are you able to tell me what the latest status of the medic in the cryopod is?
If you plug the holodeck into the cryo chamber, I should be able to assess the damage.
Stand up close. Okay.
A shotgun is more dangerous up close.
True.
And let's plug in, I guess. Time to jack in.
Okay. So you plug in the holodeck into the cryo chamber, and the text on the screen starts to scramble and jumble itself up, and it starts to make this odd sort of calculating noise, like the old school calculators used to. And as this happens, you hear the unmistakable sound of the cryopod unsealing, and vapor escapes.
That's not what I asked. That's not what we
Yeah,
asked to do.
that's not.
The cryopod has been opened, and that's where we're going to end the session.
Oh, okay. I'm just stepping back.
Wow. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, just one little added thing. I would have set a timer for 1 hour 45 minutes, just to, because
Okay.
it was a
Ah.
guesstimate.
Yep.
Then I guess we'll end the stream there. Join us, of course, on Sunday for the Wild Beyond the Witchlight with the Carnival cards, and then join most of us again next week. Not myself, because I'm busy next week. For the next session, possibly, unless something else happens, but we'll let you know. Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye.